Hello.
Hey, y'all.
Hi. So I want to just start off. First of all, we have a guest in the studio audience.
Yes, we do have a guest. We have our third guest in the studio audience.
Yes.
Our third guest. What is our third guest ever?
I don't know.
Yeah, because it was only.
So try this.
What? Let me just look at the. Let me look at the thing first. I want to see what this is first. I just want to see
It's
what
crunchy garlic.
Can I look at the? Can I look?
Trust me. Trust me.
Can I look at the bottle first? Because I want to.
Come on, man. Trust me, man. All right. Well, here links.
Is it hot?
No.
Oh.
It's a lot of shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a little bit of
It's an umami bomb, is what it is, actually.
It's umami-licious.
Yes, it's quite tasty.
You said ooh, mama-licious.
It's called
It really is good.
crunchy garlic.
Where'd you find this at?
I went to when we were in New York City. New York City.
Always someplace exotic.
Yes, so we went to New York City, and I found this at this little Japanese store. You always see how she poo-pooing it.
Listen, I'm trying to recognize the taste. That's what I'm trying.
In your mouth.
It's something.
It's a little soy sauce. It's crunchy garlic. It's got a little bit of chili spice to it, but only the tiniest bit because this is the mild.
What I'm trying to recognize is that what has this been in that I've had to eat?
Well, so the taste. So what it is, it's umami. So umami is what is it? Salty, sweet, sour, something, and umami. So umami is the fifth taste.
Okay.
And when you taste savory things, so like meat has an umami quality. So the soy sauce and even ketchup has this umami quality because it's in ketchup. And so when you cook yes, so when you cook chicken, when you cook tomatoes down from the tomato paste, you get
this lighting is harsh. Can we get like what?
Oh,
it's very harsh. I'm trying to understand. Like it's not
well,
giving me
just turn it on.
I mean, like what?
Turn it on. We had company, and so I got caught up. Having conversations, and getting the blah blahs in, and saying the what's
down or off or what? What are we doing? Oh, you've been okay. Got it.
Just lowering it. Okay, and then there we go. Yeah, a much better palette.
Okay. So, but anyway. Hey kittens, what's going on? How y'all doing?
What's the word?
What's new? What's crack-a-lacking?
What's the tease? What's the gagas? What's the gas?
What's crack-a-lacking? What's going on? What's up, beach? What's going on? Oh, I gotta drop something into the Superfans chat. So for those of you that are in the Superfans chat, you'll be able to see what it is that what we're gonna be talking about later on tonight. So let me do that real quick. But how was your week?
My week was lovely.
It wasn't weeky. It wasn't
work. I mean, unless something crazy happened, I don't really talk about work stuff. So I don't really care.
I mean, they didn't get on. Well, I must be the only person on the planet where it's like people getting on my nerves every damn day.
Perhaps, but so far, no one's really gotten on my nerves bad enough where I want to comment on it on the show. My boo is coming back. Coming to Baltimore for 3 days, and he said, "I really want to spend some time with you, sir." He calls me sir.
So I want to just make sure I'm correct.
Dick.
Which boo are you talking about?
Dick. This is work stuff.
Oh.
Remember the guy that stood up and I was like, "Ooh, Dick."
Right. Got you.
No. Girl, I'm a professional, honey. Of course, I didn't say it out loud.
He didn't say it out loud, but he did.
Right.
All right. Actually, I'm gonna flip this camera so you can actually see our words. There we go. That's what I want you to see, that putas love me. It's so funny because I wore this shirt to karaoke last night with D&K Sounds. I was like, where's everybody?
Oh, hey everybody. I see Eccentric. I see Spash.
Atlas and Josh.
It's wait a minute. Bougie Girl said, wait a minute. It's people in the den of sin without me.
The only reason that there's someone here is because this person is only in town once every 16 weeks.
One night only. One night only.
Come on, Big Daddy. Come on.
Just it's given one night only. That's all it's given.
Yes. And so he's coming to visit. So we'll see him. I will also be making a trip around the country, going to exciting places like New Haven, Connecticut, and Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Albuquerque.
And
yeah, you should have made a left.
Right. But the exciting part is that the trip ends in Los Angeles, and I already told my boss, it's like, so I'm planning this trip so that I can spend the weekend in Los Angeles. He was like, of course, because I would do the same thing. So this is why we get along
Atlas.
well. So so that was that. So this weekend I went up to New York City,
Right.
for Folsom. And so I arrived on Friday morning and I pretended to work all day. So I got my bags. I went up to the office and everything. I did take my 2 meetings and say what I needed to say and did what I had to do. But then it was like, okay, it's 1:00. Ain't nobody in this train station. Now, I mean, people don't understand. Like if you were, Lynx knows this because he works for the airline. But when you work for the airline or Amtrak, there is a whole infrastructure behind the scenes. So like for Amtrak, any of the major stations, there's a ton of office space. So in New York City at Moynihan, there's like 10,000 square feet of office space in that building.
Okay.
And so I just went and copped a squat in the conference room and stayed there. But then after I was done, I went and checked into my hotel, and there was slight foolishness with that. New York is still dirty as shit.
Did you think that it was going to change up?
No.
I'm trying to understand.
But where we were staying, we will likely not stay in that area again, because even though our hotel was perfectly fine, it was 2 blocks from the train station. So there were lots of homeless people and people with various and sundry mental conditions or whatever they had going on with their lives. And so while I certainly never felt unsafe, it was just like,
hey, best
I'd
friend,
rather just not be accosted by or have to hear, craziness going on. So
I don't necessarily want to hear the craziness, but I mean, if some young man wants to accost me,
you didn't want none of these people to accost you.
None of them, not even with a little bleach, just a little bit of bleach and a scrub brush.
None. No.
A stiff.
See, you like rough trade. I don't like rough trade though.
No. So wait, let's clarify something. Let's clarify something.
Dirty trade.
No, I don't do dirty trade. But if you say rough, as in like you want to throw your hands, then that's a problem because
I'm not saying
that rough trade that wants to throw hands.
No, I'm not saying trade that you want to fight. No, because my motto is, what my motto is? I'm not here to fight, but I'm not here to fight.
Yeah, I don't. So that
I think we share that motto.
Yeah, I'm not really, but I just hate when a bitch always looks at me like, oh my God, okay, all right. Listen, I'm gonna let you go ahead and have that. You can do whatever it is that you think you can do to me. That's fine. That is perfectly fine. Just don't put your hands on me. If you put your hands on me, then I'm just gonna have to go ahead and fuck you up.
So this was real nice. Dirty homeless trade. Yeah, and so I was not in the mood. I mean, they were fine. It wasn't like I felt unsafe or whatever, but I was just like,
it just wasn't.
Like I don't want to sound bougie, but I mean, just like people sleeping in the alleys and on benches outside of your hotel and stuff like that. And I don't necessarily want that on my vacation. So, hey, best friend. So yeah, I have zero interest in spending any long-term time in Albuquerque. Listen, I'm a coastal kind of gal. East Coast, West Coast. Chicago's cute. Dallas is cute.
Chicago is cute. I entertained Chicago for a minute.
Minneapolis is cute-ish.
Really?
I had a lovely time when I was in Minneapolis in 1992.
Yeah.
We were 21 years.
I was
an intern.
1992, bitch. We're in Minneapolis. First of all, we were excited to be in another city that had like a life.
I was in college, honey. I had been places.
But
I had been to
what I'm saying is
Tallahassee, Florida, the capital of Florida.
I'm so sorry. Say, what was that again?
The capital.
What was the name of the city again?
Tallahassee.
Short for Tallahassee to get the fuck up out of here. Is that what we're saying it is?
So my interest in Albuquerque is, we do have a couple of brothers and associates there. Yeah. So I might see them, I might not. It's not even the shade like that, but I'm just.
Do I need to add you into one of my chats?
Maybe. But I am much more excited in going to LA.
Okay. LA. So I must be the only person. Well, I'm not gonna say I must be the only person. LA doesn't excite me like it does a lot of people.
I have fun, but I'm not excited per se.
Like it's not even everything. My opinion of LA is everything is so spread out.
Yes.
And it makes it difficult. And I see why people. Just like in New York, they just stay in their little areas. They don't move to different places, and everything is so.
And once you get out there, people are like, "Hey, I'm staying, in West Hollywood."
And they'll be like,
"I am not coming 2.5 hours."
But listen,
to come see you.
We do the same thing because, bitch, listen, living in DC, people be like, "Oh yeah, I live in Greenbelt." They be like,
"Yeah, but Greenbelt versus DC." And living in Orange County versus downtown LA,
or when they say, "Oh, I live in Germantown."
Oh, girl, if you live in Germantown, you might as well live on the moon.
Or they live like, "Oh, I live right by the airport." Which airport? Dulles. Ooh, bitch, no.
Or the girls that live, the girls that say, "I just live in Baltimore." I was like, "Bitch, you know what? You have a better chance of seeing me if you said I live in New York City, because two dudes equally attractive. In fact, they're twins, and you are attracted to both of them. One of them says, "I live in Baltimore." The other one says, "I live in New York City." I am more likely to go see the twin that lives in New York City than the twin that lives in Baltimore.
No, what you're more likely to do is to go to New York City and see the twin in New York City, and on the way back home, stop in Baltimore and see.
Especially if the sex was good.
Come on.
Then I figure how bad can it be, because it's technically the same person.
It's along the way. Consider a rest stop.
But it's all right. It's okay. It's all right.
Spectre said, "I live in Brooklyn Park." But anyway, so New York City. So Azamek arrived Friday evening. What did we do Friday?
I don't know what you did.
Oh, we went to this cute little restaurant. Have you ever been to Medium Rare?
No.
So Medium Rare in DC is this spot where you come. It's a 3-course fixed price meal. It's like $28, and they start off with a little salad. Then they serve steak, and the steak it's like skirt steak, and you can get it, medium rare, medium, or well done, and fries. So it's like a take on a French concept, because it's unlimited, like shoestring fries,
like a poutine
bar,
like a pop-up.
No, it's like a regular steak.
Okay,
and it's served with like béarnaise sauce and stuff like that. Then they have like a dessert cart. Well, anyway, they have a place like that in New York City.
Is it béarnaise or is it béarnaise?
Béarnaise.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It never. Yeah,
I love it. I love it. I love that lemony, buttery kind of.
It's kind of. It can be white, also be yellow or green, depending on what they.
Yeah, they mix too much, like tarragon and stuff in it.
It could be white or yellow or green. Call your doctor.
This is true.
We had steak there, and that was lovely. And then we, because Azamek has only been to New York City once or twice, or this was the second time we've been to New York City. So this is his second time in New York City. So I was like, all right, because I'm not a fan of bar crawls, because the brothers were like, we're going to start at the Hangar, then we're going to go to Rock Bar, then we're going to end up at the Eagle. And I was like, I'm telling you like this. If I meet you at the Rock Bar and we go to the Hangar, I am not then jumping in a taxi or taking the subway and then going all the way up
back
to the Eagle. No, girl. First of all, what's different about these?
Yeah.
I guess you could fuck in the bathroom or whatever at the Eagle, but I've never been a fan of bar crawls. So I was like, no, we're going to go and walk.
Blackout in New Orleans, that was the cutest
but
bar
that's
crawl.
Different though, because
that was
because we had those drinks from we was full of chicken. And we had those yards filled with various flavors of frozen beverage.
Listen, that was the cutest bar crawl I've been on, and I was like, bitch, this is amazing. And I was like back in my room like,
and then you had Excel shaking his ass in your face.
Mm-hmm. And then
no, actually, I didn't. I was moved out of the way because made it a point,
move,
right? And I wasn't even checking for him. And I was just like, well, shit. I was like, he was like, no. And I was like, bitch, what? And then on top of that, he's the first person to tell you I got a lazy jaw. And I was like, bitch, what is you giving the Gawk 2000? Bitch, what is going on? I said,
it was the Gawk 5.
I said, what?
Because I was like, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. So I'm like, there we go.
I said, okay, well, all right.
You gonna remember me.
Your finger in the butt, right? That's your trick, right?
Always, see, you know me. Finger in the butt.
It's a finger in the booty.
All right, what did I say? Just like when we was talking about Jesse Williams. That's what you do. You suck them off, and then you drain them.
Just a little finger in the
booty. And then they get all weak, and they don't have no resistance.
Stick a finger in the booty.
Yeah. So, but anyway, back to New York. Since Azamek had not been to New York but one other time, and our hotel, we were staying at 39th. You know where we were staying? Where our hotel was literally where Escalitas used to be. Because we were right there on the 38th, 39th and 8th Avenue. So that was right where Escalitas was.
I have left some DNA on that floor too.
Baby, Escalitas was this.
It
was really mostly Latinx, but
yes,
black. It was New York City, so Latino,
New York
black gay club, baby. Oh, it was so much.
The
fun.
beach was hot, and the beach
was hot. The men were hot. The drag queens were hot. Because
it was Chi Chi LaRue, wasn't she there at that particular point in time? Isn't that where she started at Chi Chi?
I don't know about her, but I'm thinking of Harmonica Sunbeam.
Well, Harmonica was there, and Harmonica did that other club in Jersey too. Whatever that was like her home bar. Yeah, but yeah, it was a hot. Listen, the music, it was everything. Bitch, I popped it and spun all over that floor.
Remember all of them men's that you used to see on La Mancha videos, Aprende and all them.
Mm-hmm. They
Imagine a club full of those dudes,
and you walking in like,
hi. So glad
you look around like
right. So glad I washed under my balls today. It's very bad. And he's not even exaggerating.
Wait, I'm not exaggerating. Because bitch, the first time I went to the Sound Factory bar, I was like doing the same. I was like, oh my God. And then this guy walked up to me and was like, hey, want to dance? I was like, I just couldn't get myself together. I was like, I remember exactly what the fuck I had on. I remember exactly what the fuck he looked like. And it was, and I was like, and I started dancing with him, and I was like,
this is happening.
It was amazing.
This is happening.
Oh, it was amazing. But it was that was one of those places that if they ever brought back, I would love to go. Like if they could ever match that energy, if they could ever bring it back. Like that's one of those places.
Early 2010s.
Yeah, like that. I would say something like 2000-ish. Something in that, yeah.
Speaking of sexy men's, I know you've been to Mount Morris.
You keep talking about this place, and I am definitely going to just continue saying that I have not been there. I mean, listen, I understand that men of a certain age or of a particular genre may have gone there. I'm just saying, I am not confirming or denying that I've been there, because the sad part is no. The sad part is I may have been there. I just don't really remember it, because at one point I've been through. I've been through.
It was in Harlem for one. It was literally on 125th Street.
Do you know how many places are in the New York City, the New York City area, and also New Jersey area that pose as a?
It wasn't posing as nothing. It was called Mount Morris Turkish Bathhouse. It was nothing to pose as. It was a sign vertically that said Mount Morris. It was on literally. It's a fucking Whole Foods now, but it was literally a bathhouse. Now, I had been to my fair share of bathhouses prior to this, because I'm an explorer. You can call me the Ferdinand Magellan of faggotry,
or just Dora.
Dora the horror. Okay, there we go.
Backpack.
Exactly.
Swiper, no swiping.
Exactly. So you walk in, all of those cute dudes that you saw at Escalitas, around about 3 o'clock in the morning, they all hopped on the train and went uptown to Harlem, because the train was right there. It was on 125th Street. So you hopped off the train, walked, a couple hundred steps, and there you were at the bathhouse. So instead of your normal bathhouse scene, which is, no. Old white guys.
Oh, that. Okay.
More so giving more club body in Philadelphia.
No, it was
club body in.
It was giving
Florida.
Latino fan club. It was giving La Mancha, men of La Mancha videos. It was it was very. I walked in and I was like, bitch, I am in a fucking porn movie.
Oh my goodness, how y'all doing?
All of these, light skinned, curly haired dude walking around talking about, "What's up, Poppy?" And I'm like,
He's talking to me.
He's like, oh my God, he's talking to me. Yes. I'm walking away. Is he watching?
You wanna fuck me, Poppy? Yes. Yes, I do want to fuck you.
Right now, very hard in the butt.
Right. So it was a whole bathhouse, but the clientele was flipped 180 degrees, where most bathhouses, the clientele would generally be white. And don't, I am not shading.
There's nothing
wrong.
No.
Listen, because we won't all be white, but we will all be old one day, and God bless them. So I'm not mad. Okay, girl. I'm not saying you won't age like some people do, but you're going to get older, Lord willing. So there's no shade. I'm not saying anything is wrong, but the bathhouse clientele is typically older and more Caucasian.
Yeah.
This bathhouse was significantly younger, significantly browner, and significantly blacker.
What's the one over here? Not over here, but here.
That's just a sex club, and she's falling on hard times.
You talking about here in the DMV? Which one? Because you talking about the one on P Street?
Name it.
The Crew Club.
Yes.
So okay.
Like that, but with Latins.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But then there's a couple other little places that are.
Yeah. See, she don't know nothing about it. Yes, she got all. She's the fucking.
I am saying what I'm saying is
encyclopedia Blacktanica.
What I'm saying is that they're all blending in together. There's some places I recognize. Like I didn't realize this is how awful it was when I went to the one little bathhouse down in Florida. I didn't realize they were all that one in one city was tied to another because it's a chain.
Oh,
and when I got
like
there,
Flex or Steamworks or something.
It was Club Body. And when I got there in Florida, the guy was like, "Have you ever been here?" I was like, "No." He's like, "You're right here in the system. Oh, you have a membership." And I was like,
"Oh, excuse me."
And they were all looking at you like,
"Yeah, like
Dora the horror."
Listen, and I was with Maximus, so of all people, I was like,
right.
I was like, okay. I was like, all right, girl.
Right.
Like,
I know that girl was not gonna let that pass. But anyway, so all of that was to say that since Azamek had never been to New York City but one other time, I was like, this would be cute. So we went and walked Times Square. So we walked through Times Square.
Mhm.
You know,
That was a cute picture, by the way. That
Thank
you
you.
posted. Yeah, that was a cute picture.
So, you know, for me, it's fun to do stuff with people who haven't been to some places. So, because for me, I'm like, girl, it's just
It's
Times
right.
Square. I mean, you know,
People in the lights is just giving me a head.
right. Yeah. So, but for him, I mean, he wasn't, I mean, he's from a small town, but I mean, he's lived here long enough. So he wasn't like, golly. So it wasn't quite like that. But it still was nice to, you know, sort of walk around and see people. And maybe I got my steps in between Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 49,500 steps.
That's good.
Baby, my feet was throbbing.
That's good.
But luckily, I had a slave who could give me a foot massage.
I think the most I did
every
was at
day.
like Dorney Park. I mean, not Dorney Park, in Disneyland. It was like, no, it wasn't Disney. It was some amusement park because it wasn't Disney. It's like 25,000.
Oh, in a day?
Yeah.
Ooh,
But it was
that's a
good.
lot.
What you call it last summer? Where did we go? What theme park did we go to when my dog was sick? Where were we?
We were down in Charlotte.
Carowinds.
Carowinds, yes.
Mhm.
Carowinds, yes.
Yeah, I think I probably got like 13 or 15,000 in then too. So then, so that was Friday. Saturday, we were supposed to go to Staten Island to go to a botanical gardens, but you had to get tickets ahead of time, so we didn't do that. So what did we do all day Saturday? Oh, we walked around.
Censored.
No, well, kind of. We found a spot to have breakfast, which was X number of blocks away. And so we went there, and on the way, I passed a restaurant supply store. And, you know, I cook a lot. So, I got these cute little stainless steel mirepoix bowls.
What is a mirepoix bowl?
Preparation bowl. So the bowl is a little smaller than this, but it's a set of a dozen. So
you can drop
yeah, so you know when you see it, it was like,
just like
so
this
is a tablespoon of this
and
and everything. So then I can have that all set up. And the bowl, it was like $9.99. But then they had this. I should have bought the spoon up. The spoon is about it was a wooden spoon. It was this long.
She was not thinking about cooking with that.
I picked up the spoon, and the guy behind the counter is like, "You going to make a big pot of stew?" And I'm like, I looked at Azamek. I was like, "Yeah, stew." So, and then we went to the restaurant, and then we walked across the. We went back. Oh, so we passed Union Square, Union Square, 14th. And 14th, yeah. So walked all of that, and I went to the Burlington Coat Factory because, you know, I'm going to tell you, you know, I'm not one of those people who I'm not like, you go to a new city and let's go to McDonald's in a new city. I don't do that. But I will go to Burlington Coat Factory and a Marshall's in a new city because they have different shit in those stores than they will have in the Burlington Coat Factory and the Marshalls here.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Mhm.
Yes, there's nothing wrong with that. But they kind of in the same, you know, they kind of, what you can't get at one, you can get at the other. You can kind of actually.
Well, I was only at the Burlington. I'm just saying, just as that kind of store.
All right.
So, and if they had a Home Goods, they would have been like a wrap for me for like the rest of the day.
Okay.
I've just been like, as a man, you just go back to the hotel, baby, because I'm gonna be here for like 6 hours. So, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to just amuse yourself while I walk through every aisle. I'm usually the kind of person who I don't like to just like browse, but I could spend 2 hours in a Home Goods easily, just picking up everything and just be like, chili oil with fried garlic and almonds, great for tofu, noodles, salads, and chicken. Put that in the cart. Then I'll have like $10,000 of stuff in the cart, and I'll be like,
when you get to the register, you're like, I think I'm going to
put all of this back, and
I just want these 5 items. Yes.
You can just leave the cart there.
Okay.
So then we walked around, and then we made it down to the Leatherman. The one thing we should have done that I didn't do, because I've only ever been in Stonewall once.
I don't think I've ever been in actually. Yeah,
it is much smaller than
you
think. I mean, it's a tiny ass club.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been inside of it.
So, the club. And then we went to the Leatherman, and then we went to London, and we came back, and then we had dinner with Carl and one of the newest brothers.
Okay.
And that was where, because it's in St. Mark's Square, we went to the Bow because I had my soup dumplings and the hot pot. And there was this little Japanese store. And I had been wanting some of this chili crisp because my friend, the PhD student, had recommended some to me. And so I had found
it's
these.
actually, I'm listening to what you were saying, but it's actually sushi on the label.
Yeah, so they put a little, you can put a little bit on top of sushi. Yeah, because it adds that little extra oomph to it. And it's a little salt. Yeah, you can find it on Amazon because you know what? I am loving some of the new features. So I'll show
features of
Amazon technology.
Oh.
Like even using like Google Frame, you can take a picture of something.
And it'll show you where you can find it.
Okay.
So this one is called Google Lens. So if I can upload a picture from something that I did. So I can upload this picture. And then it's going to tell me where they have it in the store. Gotcha. Or if I
in the actual store.
Yeah, so I just uploaded that picture and then I can click on this now because now I can order it for it's $7.90, which was about the same price that it was in the store. But now I ain't got to go back to New York City every time I want to buy it. I can just buy it directly from Amazon. And then also Google Lens. So like if I wanted to get some of that or no, here's a better example. Let's say you saw a particular kind of flower. You take a picture of the flower and upload that into, I think it's called Google Lens or whatever it is. And it'll tell you, this is a Gerber or daisy, you know, or something like that. Or like a piece of clothing. Like if you like a particular.
Said Trader Joe's has it too. Oh,
God. Why she trying? She said it very like you
Trader
basic
Joe's
ass
has it
bitch.
too,
See, it's the tone was very.
I think she's talking about.
No, I know she's talking about this, but it was like it feels very like.
I mean, she just listen.
Thank you, bougie girl. So now I know. I don't know. Is it the exact same brand? So I'll go to Trader Joe's and find out. Okay. But anyway, so we had hot pots and everything, and one of the guys that was with us, one of our newest brothers, his name is Jewel, because you know they're the physics line. So all of their like one of them is Sir Isaac and Jewel and Nanometer or something. I don't remember what the other ones' names are, but he said he didn't really have like an adventurous palate. Okay. Fine, because I just sat next because you know Asmec don't have an adventurous palate either. So I sat next to Carl and we got our hot pot with the chicken and the lamb and the
can you
all of that.
How is this? I want to do this, but can you talk about what the hot pot dinner looks like and how it's
well, there's different kinds of hot pot. What we have what I've had here is the wet hot pot.
Okay.
Yeah, the wet hot pot. Yeah.
That's kind of sexy.
Yeah, the wet hot pot. So they bring you out the meat and the vegetables and everything. And they have and then they have a pot of broth that's actually boiling. You drop the meat in there, you pull the meat out and scoop a little bit of the broth out, and you can just eat that like a soup with the meat, or you can put it over some rice or some noodles or whatever. Okay. In the place we went to called the Bow is a dry hot pot, which is it's really like a stir fry.
Okay.
So, but it was delicious.
So it's like a fondue experience with oil or cooking.
Yeah, but it's an actual broth. You can eat the broth. It's like a soup. Yeah. And that broth is delicious. Yeah. And I will take it home and fuck that broth up for days. I usually ask them, like, can you fill this up with more broth? And then like 5 minutes, and they'd be like, can we get some to-go containers to take the rest of this?
Yeah. Okay. I have to try that.
It was good. That place.
Oh, so she said Trader Joe's Chili Crunch. Yeah. So I'll try that and compare it to this.
There's a place down in the place that we went to with Disciple down in Virginia. I think it was Alexandria. I think it was
the hot pot spot.
Yeah, I think it was one. We went there. I went with y'all one time.
Was that Happy Lamb?
I have no idea what
it was in. Like a whole shopping center full of Asian stores
in this area. That's all I know.
She's not very good with remembering.
It was how many years ago?
3 or 4 at the most. It was in 2018 because that was how long that relationship lasted.
We've gone through a whole pandemic and everything else.
October of 2018.
So yeah, I remember that.
Whatever, honey. So she's difficult.
It's on my list. Hot pot. Give it a go.
We'll go. You know, next time you come into town, but you know, don't let us know that you're gonna be in town like 30 seconds before you arrive. You know how the girls do be like,
I'm landing.
I'm gonna be in town, and I'm like, good for you.
Like I'm landing. I'm at the airport. Okay, make sure you get your baggage.
Ooh.
Right, because the girls be like,
so you don't want people to tell you when they're here. You do.
It depends. If they're like a good friend, yes.
Let me know. I'll make a way to come see you.
But if we don't normally talk, because what that feels like to me, because too many times it's turned into
Hey, I'm in town.
I need someone to
stay.
entertain. Well, I think most
extra
people know me
room.
enough that don't even ask that, because if you gotta ask if you can stay, you can't stay.
I feel like this is a classic being with bougie bitch. I've never heard of a hot pot, let alone a wet hot pot. Oh, Louboutin.
Oh,
Louboutin.
There's so much more to the world than Waffle House and barbecue.
Don't get me
wrong.
Don't get me wrong.
I
Motherfucking Waffle House.
fucking love Waffle House because
I
I need my hash brown scattered, smothered, covered, chunked, diced, and topped. Topped has the no, topped I think is mushrooms. The mushroom caps.
Oh, okay.
Oh, mushroom cap. Yep.
We'll talk about that off camera.
Okay.
Yeah. So so after the hot pot, then we went to the dessert spot downstairs with the fancy fabulous desserts. And then that was the night of the latex ball. But by that time we'd already walked like 30,000 steps. And so I was like, I am not going to be standing. First of all, I am not a nobody. I'm not a Ebony. I'm not an Alpha Omega. I'm not a nobody. So I knew that my ass was going to be standing in the back. And so I did not want to be standing on my feet for 5 hours after having already walked around Manhattan.
Which is one of the main reasons why I decided, because I was sitting there having this conversation with Des, and we were talking about going to balls and just having all these flashbacks. And it was like, all right, so if you didn't purchase a table, then you're going to have to stand or sit wherever you can.
Right.
And the tables, they were selling them ahead of time. We could have purchased a table, like we could have gotten one for like just us or Onyx or whatever. And so, but again, you're standing outside.
The ball
the
itself
table
was free though.
Yeah, the ball is free, but you're standing outside of the table. So if it's set up so that this is the room, the tables will be all around the outside here. Yeah. And then the lane where everybody's on runway or whatever's down, but you're standing around the outskirts. And then there's a second level that was upstairs. You can look over, but it's the balcony. But nobody's standing or sitting like it's a play or a movie. Everybody's up and around. So you're kind of always doing this. Yeah. And so it took me back to.
I'm sorry. Spectre reminded me that I am House Lacroix. I am Damarascata Lacroix. My bad. I've forgotten. We haven't done runway as a house. In a moment. I mean, you don't never come to practice.
I don't need to come to practice. I don't need to come to practice. I don't need to come to practice. And our founder,
the mother, the overall father.
Wait, no. He has been demoted. Oh, he is the founder of the house has been demoted. He is no longer the overall mother.
Who is the overall mother?
Is a
blank. There's a vacant position.
I don't know if it's an interim position, but there is a. I cannot think of his Lacroix name, but Deviant has stepped into that role for like the minute. This was confirmed on the way back home from New York.
Oh, okay, very good.
But I'll talk about that.
I'm more of a part-time member. It wasn't a coup.
It wasn't a coup. It wasn't a coup, and
it was a friendly takeover.
It was because he graciously said, "Okay, all right, all right."
So then, so we didn't go to the latex ball because I was like, "Yeah, girl, no, I'm not gonna." No, it just felt like a lot because we had literally because I said, New York City, the weather was nice. It was chilly. Relatively, it was 60s, but it was expecting to be in the 90s.
See,
so we walked from our hotel, which is in just south of Times Square. We walked from there, so that's 39th and 8th Avenue. So we walked over to Flatiron Building, so that's 20 blocks.
Mhm.
Then from there, we walked to Union Square. That was another 10 to 15 blocks. Then we finally caught a taxi the last 10 or 12 blocks because I was over it by that point. But yeah, all of that. And then standing around in the ball for like 5 hours. I'm like, yeah, no. Because like any event, like any sporting event, there is moments of boredom or just sort of interim shit punctuated by something incredible happening. Like you go to a basketball game, most of the time it's just dudes dribbling. I mean, every shot ain't gonna be, a slam dunk, backboard shattering, Oh, I'm talking sports ball.
It's all right. It's all right.
I know, but so I knew that even if we did go to the ball, most of the time we'd be sitting there like,
what's next?
And the other part to that, selfishly, is that I did not want to sit next to a whole bunch of people that were going to ask me questions while I was trying to focus on what was going on. It's not about clout. That's not even it. It was just a matter of no, they don't necessarily know. It's been years. But my whole point is I know what the categories are. I know what they're looking for.
She's legendary though.
But I no. But I know what
legendary.
Actually, it's been revamped. It's legs and hips and body.
Yes.
Body.
There we go.
So, but yeah, I thought about that as well, and I was like, okay, but I would have still gone. And I literally, specifically, when I reached out to you, I was like, this is the only reason.
And that was it. So, because I had talked to you earlier in the day,
right?
And when you said, "Oh, I'm not coming till tomorrow," and I knew Lynx wasn't coming, and no one seemed to be like super jazzed up,
right?
And Azamet could have given a shit. I mean, we could have sat in the room and he would have just been like, I'm just happy to spend time with you.
No, he'd
have been like, yeah, rubbing my, for 7 hours. He'd have just been like, I'm having a wonderful time.
And then he would have been like, stop. Like, I've had enough. Please stop.
Okay, that's enough. That's good.
Right.
And so Onyx did get a suite at the Millennium Hilton, which is right across the street from I don't know if they call it the Bird's Nest, but the World Trade Center, the white thing with the fins. Yeah. So it's the new intermodal transportation center. So we were there, we kikied and cut up for a minute. They had some punch and so that was fun. And then we came back to the hotel, and then the next day was the actual Folsom Street Fair.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and that's where we popped up. So we decided that morning to roll up.
So I'll let you take over the story.
So for me, we rolled up early that morning. I actually woke up.
May I have your spoon?
I actually woke up not wanting to go, and I had actually said that I wasn't going to go.
If you hadn't come, I'd have been like,
well, again, it was. Plus, I was like. And then in full transparency, I was pissed off at just where I was at that moment financially, because I found a place, and at least I thought I found a place. And then I was like, all right, let me just put this money to the side. And then I was like, okay, I don't have it. Then it was like, okay, let me be an adult. Let me not, And I wound up going at the last minute.
Good as fuck.
It's delicious.
And we went up there that morning.
Just put it on some noodles.
The four of us, Deviant, Anani, and Spectre, and I, we rode up, and we had a really good time. It was an easy drive up. We got there, we changed our clothes in the parking lot. We were not in the parking lot. We had already had our clothes on. We got there, it was like everything popped off real quick. We were standing around. I was like, all right, this is great. And then when I realized where we were, and I was like, this is by Rock Bar. And I was like, but wait, this is only 2 blocks. I was like, well, what? Then I was thinking it was like 4 to 6 blocks before. Like that, I thought it was. Then I was like, well, doesn't necessarily have to be that long as it's just a good time. And then I was standing there, and we were just having a good time. And like I was still in my head about my own personal shit. And so I was sitting there kind of like, and then, somebody I was sitting there and somebody started smoking, and I was like, well,
like, how bad can it be?
I was like, all right. So, but it was a good time. And then we were about to leave, and then everyone was going to go to the dinner. And but let me stop. Cutler, he's my future former baby daddy, ex-husband. Yeah. He was there. He was drumming up business for the the household and everything. And I understand that. For the who? For the household.
Whose household?
His.
Oh.
Is that so? Grab that bottle. Grab that glass cleaner, because I'm gonna show you what it looked like.
It really was not.
So when he came up to me, it was in his pants. Like that. But he's always doing that. Cutler has this thing where he likes to come up behind me and rub this, because he's actually not, I mean, he's not tiny. I mean, but he's like
short.
He's only barely, he's my height.
He's probably
5'9".
Yeah.
So
he's shorter than you. He's probably like
5'7",
5'7".
5'7".
Yeah.
So he had that. And then, so we're talking, we're bullshitting. I invited him to come to Blackout. I was like, no, we don't necessarily want you to work or anything. You know, you cool people, we cool people. And then I turned around to talk to somebody else. And then next thing I know, here it is. Just out.
Them draws was off, and I was standing. I was like, "Oh, it's cut." I was like, "All right, okay." Listen,
I mean, I've seen it many times, so it's not as like awe-inspiring as. I mean, it is still awe-inspiring. But
well,
you know, Dora the Horror here. You know, what do we call her? Encyclopedia Black Tanica.
All I'm saying is, I've seen. I'll say this. What he does with what he has is he guts the kids. And I listen, him and Raheem Shabbat, they just guts the kids. I'd be like, listen, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Just size alone or tools alone. Okay. We can work with that. We can work with it.
Girl.
We can work with it. We can work with it. We can work with it. I didn't say,
Open up.
Listen, I said we can work with it. I didn't say we building houses, breaking down walls, and we running marathons. No, we can work with it. Listen, everybody needs to be very, very, very gentle. Gentle. This is a delicate motherfucking flower. Exactly. Because bitch, if you go left and I go right, and bitch, I'm fucking punching the shit out of you. Yeah, we ain't doing that. So,
you should be scared.
But it's not. It's kind of like, this is so Will and Grace, Jack. Like, you know, like, never meet your idols. Like, you know, I met Big Bird, not so big, and I was kind of like, okay, it seems very doable. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh my God, I can't really. But I'm also gonna say that I've never been in that position, so I can't. You know, in that moment, I
of course, yeah.
So
next time we get together, because he won't mind, you of all people, because he's been trying to have. I want you to try to put it in your mouth, since you got all. Because I mean, you won't be
this.
Orion did. If Orion can get it in his mouth, you can get it in your mouth.
The difference between Orion and I, is that I'm a little bit older. I just look. The elasticity is just not necessarily there.
See, she coming up with all of these reasons,
but no,
and excuses.
But let me be clear.
Listen.
Let me be clear.
If you can't hang, just say you can't hang.
There is nothing that I cannot do, but that's not on my list. That's not on my list. If it was on my list, I would have done it by now, because I've had ample opportunity and opportunities to do that.
I mean, but the people want to know. Okay. Desmond wants to know. Bougie Girl wants to know. Treasure Lane wants to know. Spectre wants to know. You know, we all want to
listen.
Know. We all want to see you
check
at
out
work.
My Yelp reviews. I am Epic.
Yeah, but Yelp, I mean, anybody could get, you know, some little Korean boy to write their Yelp reviews. We need to see it in person.
So, in any event, when I got back home, and I had a unexpected DNA appointment.
El Teddy said, cool. I want to see it. Okay. This is what I want to see. This is what I want to see. This is what I want to. This is what I want to. This is what I want to see.
So, I had an unexpected DNA appointment, which was actually pretty good. It was cool. And then, yeah, okay, yeah.
Yes. Oh, yes.
DNA, yeah. And then it was just a very lazy day because I was actually tired. And so
pussy. Meow.
Give it up for the one and only motherfucking Kevin Prodigy.
Yes. So good.
But
so
yeah, but
the weekend ended up turning out good.
It was good. It was, and I'm still kind of in my head about some shit.
Yeah, we'll talk about that offline once.
Yeah, but other than that, I mean, it's cool.
Eccentric said he wants to see.
Great.
You do not bow to good person.
Honestly, Cutler has a beautiful ass too. I really just want to put my finger in his butthole. He's a really
very
nice
nice.
guy.
He's very
and
nice.
that's the thing is that I think one of the reasons he kind of likes hanging out with us was like, yeah, we recognize that he's got a huge dick and whatever, and some of us would actually not mind, getting gutted, 4 or 5 times. But like when we're out with him, we'll be having a conversation with him,
Like a person.
and like we'll be this close talking, and some dude will just come and stand like right here.
Right.
And I'm not gonna mess with that man money because we know why they're coming in between, and it's not because he has a sparkling personality, which he does.
Right.
So I'm not going to mess with that man money because what I want to say is like, if you don't get your ass out of this motherfucking frame, because bitch, we were literally right here, and you are going to come and stand in front of me.
Yes.
If this man wasn't trying to make money, if it was just if someone did that between the two of us, first of all, I wouldn't have to say anything because everyone would be like,
excuse me, sweetie, honey.
Like,
I was having a conversation.
Right.
Like when you pull it, it's like whoops. Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, and that's a pet peeve of mine as well. So I don't particularly care for that. So I have to catch myself because the first thing that wants to come out of my mouth is not the most pleasant.
It's not Christian.
Yeah, we'll say that. But yeah, and I have to catch myself because I think that's just rude.
Very.
Just fucking rude. But that's a whole nother story.
Right.
But other than that, it was a good week, a good weekend, and I'm glad we had Juneteenth and to celebrate and get that extra day off, and I hope people realize what it actually means, and not to do something. And I'm feeling like this is going to turn into one of those holidays like Martin Luther King, where you turn like it becomes of service.
A sex party. I thought that's where you were going with it because that's what the girls in Atlanta do. I mean, they are of service.
That is a service. I understand that, but I'm saying
servicing
maybe some community service with clothes on.
Oh,
with clothes on.
Did y'all see the feedback on Juneteenth on Facebook here just after the holiday that said, congrats on this being a federal holiday now, we can teach the students why we have it.
Yeah,
which is one of the reasons I've heard so many people have stories about, oh, this business is closed, or why is it not open, and what is Juneteenth? And it's like, what do you mean, what is it? So then I've heard people say stuff like either they were just completely ignorant and I was not going to say anything, or either I'm going to try to educate them and let them know what it is. Yeah. And so most of the people have been trying to educate them and let them know what it is. And so it seems like it's been pretty positive.
Yeah, it has been.
But I don't know. I have to be in that moment to see how I would react. I probably would try to explain, and then based off of my explanation, if they still say, I'd be like, all right.
Third grader asked the teacher, why do we have Monday off? Are they in the position now, or are they going to have to go against their policy?
Well, not all the states are celebrating it. There's still
But it's a federal holiday.
Just like Martin Luther King is, but it's not necessarily celebrated in all states.
Huh?
It's not.
It's a federal holiday, so federal institutions are closed. But there is no law saying that any state has to recognize a federal holiday.
Yeah,
even like Christmas and New Year's. I mean,
right.
They don't have to.
Okay.
But a lot, and I want to say Arizona was one.
Arizona was
one of the last ones, maybe.
Well, I don't know if they were the last ones, but I remember John McCain, who was a senator from Arizona, fought the MLK holiday up until the very end.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, there's still a couple, like 1 or 2 states that didn't acknowledge it, or like, so it's whatever, for right now. But I think it's going to probably want to be a day of service for some people, or maybe it should be. I don't know, but I
feel like I'm of service to you people. All the time, so
I mean, but this is our community service.
This is our community service.
So
I'm Miss Bennett, and I'm the mayor's wife.
So we'll see. But anyway, let's get on to some of this stuff because
all right. So the first story, y'all remember Andrew Gillum,
the cutie
with the booty.
The cutie with the booty, and
did he have a booty
and a root tootie? Well,
he had a body.
He had a nice little body.
Well, he was cute enough. Well, he was a 2018 Democratic nominee for Florida governor. He is now facing 21 federal charges related to a scheme to seek donations and funnel a portion of them back to him through third parties, according to the U.S. attorney who announced that today. Gillum, 42, and co-defendant Janet Letman Hicks, 53, face 19 counts of wire fraud. Gillum is also charged with making false statements to the Federal Bureau of Investigations. The U.S. Attorney Office said the pair conspired to commit wire fraud by unlawfully soliciting and obtaining funds from various entities and individuals through false and fraudulent promises and representations that the funds would be used for legitimate purpose. Letman Hicks then used her company to fraudulently give money to Gillum disguised as payroll payments, according to the office in a press release. If you'll recall, in March of 2020, Gillum was found intoxicated and unconscious in a hotel room with two men, including one who works as a male escort. 2 days later, he entered a rehab center and later did a television interview and said he's bisexual.
Further fall from grace.
Girl, can you imagine if he had actually become governor with all of this foolishness?
Well, I mean, how much different would he really be from what's his face, the New York senator that kept showing his dick?
Wiener.
He's black.
What I'm saying is, we already recognize the difference between him and white folks. I'm just saying the antics and what he's done are no different than the other white folks that have done stuff, Wiener included. But because he was black, it was going to be worse. But anyway.
Well, yeah, so that's that. So,
So
when these kids be thinking that they can pull these stunts and that it's never going to come to light. And, I'm just like, and you just really thought you was just going to get away with this, huh? You thought you were smarter than the whole FBI and all of the thousands of people that they got working for them. And what? So
what happened to Jesse Smollett? Didn't you see what they did to him?
Okay. Anyway, so
Kevin Hart announces a plant-based Hart House eateries. He's entered the fast food industry, and with the opening of 2 plant-based restaurants named Hart House. The eateries are going to offer 100% plant-based menus of sandwiches, salads, and sides. This is as reported in Vibe. And one location is in the Westchester neighborhood of Los Angeles. The second location will be in Hollywood. Hart says, I founded Hart House to create a good experience that combines the joy of coming together over food with the power of purpose. He said, our amazing chefs and team members have crafted a 100% plant-based menu that delivers can't believe it flavor in every bite. He says, I know you're going to love it. But here's what's reported by the Green Queen. The menu items are free from artificial colors, preservatives, and cornstarch. But the outlet also writes that Hart House poached Chef Michael Salem from Burger King, where he served as head of culinary innovation, bringing the Impossible Burger to the menu. My initial thought was, nigga, you was working at Burger King and you was frying up burgers and everything else. But then when I thought about it, I was like, okay,
no, girl,
so
he's not
he bought the Impossible
That's a
Burger.
corporate employee who's,
but once
he
again,
ain't literally TT in the back frying burgers. He is the head of culinary innovation. That's a executive position.
Listen,
Mm-hmm.
he came from Burger King though. At some point he was flipping a burger somewhere.
Why you always got a damn? We was just talking about.
I am the Russian judge. I am the negative Nancy. That's where I'm at right now. Damn it! Now go on and read the next article.
All right. So,
the fuck.
Woo woo woo.
I'm all right. Shit.
You sure?
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it. Mother and daughter duo testified about Georgia elections. So, well, wait a minute. There's the thing, but there's no story here. This is out of order, honey.
No, it's not.
Oh, okay. Got it. All right. No one should ever accept harassment and violence against election workers and voter registration volunteers. Black election workers in Georgia are still fighting to serve their communities in peace. Blah, blah, blah. Ruby Freeman and her daughter, Wandria.
Listen.
They call her
Wandria Arshay Shay Moss.
They call her Shay.
Right. Shay. Yes.
Ruby Freeman and her daughter, Shay Moss, testified before the January 6th committee, detailing the harassment and targeting that began between the 2020 general election and the 2021 Georgia Senate runoff election. During her video testimony shared Tuesday, Freeman shared the horror of having the president use his platform and power to attack her by name. Both mother and daughter described fearing for their safety. Previous reports documented countless threats of violence, with no law enforcement agency intervening to protect them in the months after the election. Moss shared that when she discovered hateful messages on social media, her mother said that she was lucky it was 2020 instead of 1920. She's also fortunate it wasn't 1964.
Now, their testimony comes 58 years after Andrew Goodman, James Earl Chaney, and Michael Schwerner were assassinated by the KKK for helping to register Black voters in Mississippi, according to the SNCC Legacy Project. Schwerner and Chaney were on staff with the Congress of Racial Equality, otherwise known as CORE, and Goodman was a summer volunteer. Their bodies would not be found for another 6 weeks afterwards. And I remember learning about this when I was in college.
Mm-hmm.
But Giuliani and Trump's harassment of Freeman Moss follows the violent racist harassment endured by organizers across the South during the Civil Rights Movement and notably during Freedom Summer. Thankfully, no one suffered bodily harm as a result of Trump-led harassment. This harassment endured by Freeman and Moss caused irreparable harm to their livelihood and overall ability to live without fear. A GoFundMe has been set up to help repair some of the damage. In his first year in the Senate, Raphael Warnock introduced a bill that would protect election workers, seeking to address some of the issues experienced by Freeman, Moss, and others who reported attacks after the 2020 election.
Yeah, and that the older white gentleman who was the chair of the Arizona Board of Elections said that Rusty. We're making a joke of his name, but what he described was pretty fucked up. You know, he got sort of the same kind of messages, but also they got his wife's cell number and they started sending her very hateful, and because she's a woman, you know, it was all like, I'm gonna rape you, I'm gonna kill you, you know, I'm gonna rape and kill you, and then rape you some more. It was all that kind of stuff. Then they found out where his daughter-in-law lived. His son died. You know, his son was married to this woman.
Yeah, his son's dead.
No. This was and that's Georgia. Raffensperger is Georgia. This was in New Mexico or something like that.
Okay.
One of the flyover states.
Yeah.
Listen, I tell you, anything that's not on the coast or Texas or Illinois or Ohio, I couldn't tell you on a map. I mean, I can, but you know. But anyway, the daughter-in-law who has 2 young children and is still a widow. I mean, the husband apparently, this man's son apparently died like fairly recently. They broke into their house. You know, all of this because of this fake ass claim, which so many people knew was fake. And so now when all these people are like, well, we knew it was fake. But yeah, you were on Fox News and you were on other places supporting this. I mean, I get that you couldn't necessarily go against the machine and be out there saying this is a bald-faced ass lie, but you could have just resigned. Yep. You did not have to be on TV because those people were stupid enough, and you knew that they were stupid enough to listen to you. And so now you're all like, oh, well, we knew inside that, none of these claims would stand up to legal challenges. We knew that Rudy Giuliani was drunk and that these 2 people were crazy, but you didn't say none of that. You didn't do anything. You shirked your responsibility as a citizen of the United States. And I'm saying if we lived in a different time, if we lived in the 1700s when they was, offing the kids with the guillotine, you would have got, in addition to Giuliani and Trump, you would have got the guillotine too as an accessory to all of this foolishness.
Listen. I'm going to change the subject here.
Yeah.
Vicki Weinings. There's been this viral video going about her, running around about her. I actually dropped it into the superfan chat, so just so people could take a look at it.
Is it good?
Yeah, you might want to open it. Just take a look at it. She said, "I sound a hot mess." So Vicki Weinings may be one of the most revered voices in the history of gospel music, but she recently came under fire for a performance that didn't depict the voice and its best light. The 68-year-old Grammy nominee took to the stage to deliver a strained rendition of her timeless classic, Safe in His Arms, that left her everything except safe from commenters who noted everything from the seeming struggle to power through the song's climax and more. And though Weinings is... Where are we at?
We're here. I don't see it.
Right there.
Oh, okay.
And though Weinings is no stranger to voice issues... Although Weinings is no stranger to voice issues, having undergone surgeries on her vocal cords in the past, some wondered if there was more to be concerned about than that, given the bizarre antics during the showing, i.e. putting a towel over her face in mid-performance. Now, on Wednesday, Weinings waxed honest about where the performance went wrong by posting a clip from it alongside a lengthy caption. And this is just a clip of it. She said, "This has gotten hilarious. Yes, I sound a hot mess. Y'all know what? I have never voiced my opinion of displeasure about anybody to discredit or hurt them online. I just don't judge people like that. But since there are people out there that sit back and wait to hurt me after 37 years of hard work and thousands of shows, I might as well jump in and dog my own self." And she has like a lot of smiley faces and emojis. But listen, take a listen to it yourself because it was a lot.
It sounds like her vocal cords, like she has been singing forever.
I think you need to listen to it on a different system because this made it sound smoother than it actually was.
Oh, okay. Because it obviously is not the best important, but exactly. It sounds like is a lot going on in that moment.
I am not judging. But it sounded
You're not judging. You're just commenting.
I'm making a comment that this made it sound better than it actually did.
Okay.
So
You think she got nodules on the vocal?
I don't. Well, she's had some other issues or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
And she's had surgeries and things of that sort. And then also, if I remember correctly, Vicki was married into the family. Like she could sing. She's not a Weinings.
Right.
But whenever she got divorced, she just kept the name.
Right.
So she can. That's not saying she can't sing, but this is just.
And she's also 78. You said
68.
Them things has been flapping for 68 years.
Listen, Patty is in her 70s. Patty is 70.
Patty is an alien.
Gladys Knight is in her 70s.
It's the same age.
And her voice sounds amazing. Patty has lost some of that gusto over the years. Yes, she has. It's not icy.
Well, hand me that microphone.
It's not as icy as it was. However, she can still do what she needs to do. But Gladys, of the two, if you ask me, she sounds more in control of her instrument. Huh? Between Gladys and Patty.
You think Gladys is in a better position than Patty right now?
Vocally, as far as maintaining their instrument. Wow. That's not saying that Patty's instrument is bad. Right. It's not what it used to be because she would do some amazing things. Gladys is still very smooth, very, I'm just saying. Very. So are you giving Patty or are you giving Oh. You are my friend. I never knew it till then. My friend. We gonna stop clowning Patty. We gonna stop clowning Patty. You might not say a word, but I see your tears when I show my pain. Yeah. You are my friend. You got to get to the da 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 da. But again, those are my opinions on of the two of them. But then I also didn't particularly care for Patty when I was a kid. I didn't like Patty. I thought she was just it was too much screaming and shit.
I always loved Patty, even when I was a child. Like I feel like I was the only 10-year-old that was like living for Patty LaBelle, but I was also homosexual.
Like, listening to it have been two songs that have made me cry. One is "Dance on the Ropes" from Aida the musical, and two was Patty's "Over the Rainbow." Like literal tears.
Mm-hmm.
After hearing her sing that, I thought I could do anything.
So I've part of the reason why I started liking her is because I started getting into her old stuff, where she had when she was with LaBelle, and then also when she had just left LaBelle. And so it's on her greatest hits album, and that whole album were old songs that I.
What are you going to do? What can you do for me?
Which is another one of my favorites. I'm not gonna do this.
Come on, give us a little song.
I'm not gonna do this. I'm not.
Ladies and gentlemen, the vocal stylings of Epic Onyx.
Cause music is life. That's it. I can't do it. I can't do no more. I can't.
Pretend these are panties.
I cannot.
All
but
right.
anyway, I started appreciating her more, and then stuff like Messing with My Mind and LaBelle, the stuff that they would do, like it's amazing because it was like nasty, raunchy shit, and I was like, oh my god, y'all are nasty. Like,
well, Lady Marmalade was very
come like
raunchy
the pouring
for
rain
its time.
each time you call my name. Like, what? Something is just another name for brain. I mean, for brain is another name for like what? So I kind of like that. I like that little, you know.
Oh, Tamika said, I have always loved TT Patty, and I always dislike Gladys.
Listen, she was never on my radar as somebody that I thought could sing. And again, as a younger kid, Gladys. But as I got older, I started appreciating.
That's true. I never thought that Gladys couldn't sing.
Right.
It's that I was just like
I didn't appreciate her voice for what it is and what it was.
Same thing with Dionne Warwick. It wasn't until I got a lot older and I saw like
Hipbone was amazing when she was younger.
Yeah.
Hipbone was amazing when she was younger. Her voice was it was very smooth. And her, like, some of her notes that she did was like amazing stuff.
Yeah.
But
she smoked her whole life.
Now she sounds like one of the aunts off of the Simpsons. Do you know the way to San Jose?
Right.
Girl, it's not the way you going. Did y'all listen to that Lucille Bogus song I put up on Facebook? Till the cows come home.
Walk on by.
Walk on by. Walk on by.
Baby.
I don't know all the words. When you say goodbye. Walk on by.
That's how she sounds now. But when she was younger, she was amazing and beautiful woman. But yeah, she sounds a little rough.
Yeah, she's a little.
All right.
So anyway, so where were we?
But anyway, so
this show just goes off on a fucking tangent.
It's all right. So Harry Styles helps a fan come out during a concert. It's Pride Month, and Harry Styles is celebrating. In case in point, the As It Was singer has now helped a fan come out during one of his concerts. During his concert at Wembley Stadium, Styles caught the request of a supporter who was holding up a sign that read, "From Ono to Wembley, help me come out." Styles did just that. He picked up a rainbow flag and the sign. As the crowd was chanting his name, the former One Direction member declared, "When this flag goes over my head, you are officially out. I think that's how it works. When this sign goes over the head, you're officially gay, my boy." Listen, congrats to that fan. Congrats to Harry. Because I'm trying to figure out, is Harry now? Like, is he identifying as...
I feel like he's slowly coming out.
Like, I'm just trying to understand that.
Is that the little boy band?
Yeah, it was one of the boy bands. But we'll see.
But I couldn't tell you what he looks like.
No, well, actually, I can. He has a big head. He has like brown hair. Yeah, I can't. And listen, for all of the fans of the show, I have said this before, and I'm gonna say it name.
Uh-oh.
Bey dropped a new single,
Oh, Child by Beat
and it's called "Break My Soul."
You ain't love, you ain't love. Queens in the front, doms in the back. It's very, because it's Beyonce. It's a very the slightest of toots for me.
Listen,
I'm not ready to give it a boot.
so
It's a lightweight summer confection. It's like a song.
So hold on, wait a minute. But listen to this. So 3 hours before the announced release time of her new single, Beyonce surprise drop "Break My Soul," the first single from her forthcoming 7th solo album, Renaissance, and it's the Bey Jam fans have been waiting for, according to this article.
It's B.
The B Jam.
That says Bey.
It says B. Beyonce.
B-E-Y.
Beyonce.
So anyway,
What's K? What's Jam? What's K?
Bey Jam fans have been waiting for a driving dance track co-produced by the Single Ladies team of Tricky Stewart and The Dream, with a plinking, insistent hook, a hot beat, and periodic exhortation.
Is the beat hot though?
From Big Frida.
I don't care for Big Frida.
Release your anger, release your mind, release your job, release the time, release your trade, release the stress, release the love, forget the rest.
It's also such a repetitive beat though, and the words are so repetitive till it feels like it's not finished to me.
Also in the writing credits are Jay-Z, Adam Piggott, aka Black in Mild, who worked with Drake, Quavo, Megan Thee Stallion, and many others. Quavo. His name is pronounced Quavo.
I thought it was Quavo. I honestly thought it was Quavo.
It's Quavo. Freddie Ross, aka Big Frida, and the writers of Robin S.'s 1993 hit "Show Me Love." Which
so 5,000 people wrote this basic ass song
in the song. Listen, for me, it's not
giving what it's supposed to have gave.
And it reminds me. It reminds me of her song. I think it's Till the End of Time. Yeah. Till the end of time, I'm pain. So it reminds me of that type of mid-tempo type of thing.
Oh, and okay. I've been corrected by you and the fans. It is Quavo. Thank you. My bad.
And I feel like it's Bey. I feel like I'm not going to like this song until I get visuals. And the only reason why I like Till the End of Time is because of the concert version, and she's always dancing. And it's the best thing ever, because when we're at karaoke and somebody does the song, all of us jump up when they get to the little part. Come on, we're always like,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let's go.
And of course, once they remix it, flopping and cat scattered, covered, dip, chip, top,
flopped and mopped. Right.
Yeah,
flop, mopped,
right
and
now,
chunk.
she's not.
But
really
right now,
doing
it's just kind of like. So I don't know.
I will say that I did not care for Formation the first like 5 times I heard it. And then something, I don't know if my brain was just in the right place. But like by the 6th time I heard it, I was like, okay, maybe.
I generally like the beats. And I generally like the beats.
I don't like the beats for this one.
But this one is kind of, and I wasn't a big fan of Robin S.'s "Show Me Love."
No.
So so when I heard that and I listened to all that, I was like, this is exactly what this is. It's very, and they're saying it's disco, it's housey.
It's it's not disco at all.
They're saying it's kind of disco, but it's housey.
I've never heard of New Orleans
bounce.
I've never heard of that before.
Anything you heard Big Frida.
Just look up anything by Big Frida.
Yeah,
and you'll hear that sound.
That's what that is.
Just like you hear like Jersey, like Baltimore club music is real fast and real repetitive. Jersey music is supposed to be like real fast. Frida is just real fast, and it's like, but it's cute.
I don't really care for Big Frida though. Her voice is grating to me.
It gets you amped up. Like if she's in the background, she's a hype man, and so. Well, I don't know if Frida. I don't know how Frida identifies. I don't know, but Frida, their songs are good. So yeah, and I find it absolutely hilarious when I think about one of my line brothers, Kyle, when he starts dancing and he starts doing that New Orleans bounce and he starts shaking, that ass go round in a circle, and I'll be like, bitch, how do you do this? I'm like, I don't know. It's something in the water. I don't know what it is, but and listen,
Crawfish.
he gets that thing
Mhm.
going, and I'm like, bitch, how did you do that? I don't.
Practice.
So, but anyway,
Well, all right. I guess it's time for the drag races.
yes. So,
The racing drags.
so this episode was episode, I think it was like episode 6 or episode 7.
Sure.
But in any event,
Oh, the show's still going on?
yeah,
I thought it was over.
All Stars, yeah.
Okay.
So Rue's look, what do you think? And I'm doing both of these because I'm trying to give him, you
The
know.
hips are too severe to me.
Listen, did you hear Michelle Visage? She said, "Come on, hips!"
And I was like, "Go away, hips," because it looks. I mean, like that line. I mean,
You have literally.
are there some women that are shaped like this?
He literally
Yes.
has on like a Queen Elizabeth ball gown with these hips that are out to the side. That's what it looks
Yeah,
like.
it looks. I mean, there's no smooth transition between the
That's
waist
all
and the padding.
That's
And
all
I mean,
padding.
that's fine, but you know, I feel like the padding should do that, but then like have a smooth transition. You know, that just looks like she put a pad there and stopped.
But so here's what I do. Will say I do like. I like that with this new padding that he's been doing, as in the past like season or 2 seasons.
Mhm.
It's coming all the way down his leg. Thank the Lord, because I cannot stand when I see queens get dressed and their pads stop here, and you can see that like it's thin all the way down. It's like no. But then this other look here, which is actually it was a blazer and jeans. And I was like, all right, fine.
Nothing special about it.
But you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
This week's show was a continuation of last week, where Jinx and Raja had actually won, and they both earned 2 legendary legend stars. So at the end of the last episode, they said that they would announce who they were going to give their stars to at the beginning of this episode.
Mhm.
And so here we have Jinx and Raja. They were talking about who they were going to give their stars to, and they were debating. And then next slide. Then they decided that they were going to give them. Raja gave hers to Evie. Jinx gave hers to Jada, and so they were both excited about that. So listen, not Jada. Evie now has her first star,
Right.
because she didn't have any at all, and Jada got her second star.
Mm-hmm.
So then we start into the show. There was a dramatic moment by the Vivian, because they
very
were,
mild drama.
Yeah,
it was RuPaul.
By RuPaul, yes. But it was interesting because you didn't think that she would be that person that would say something.
But it was. I mean, she had a good point.
She did. It was a very good point, because they divided these up into. They were going to do girls groups from the 90s that were going to perform on TRL. Mm-hmm. And what happened was, when they were all standing around together, apparently Raja and a few of the other girls had decided they were going to work together and form their own little group. But it was very reminiscent of the Heathers for me when Raja was on before, and it was like, okay, girl, was that how you doing it?
Right.
But anyway, it was a very mild moment, and the Vivian was very much of like, listen, y'all just decided to pick yourselves together, put yourselves together, and then just leave us with everything that's left, and we're just gonna make a group out of this. Like, we didn't even get to pick. So it was a very mild, dramatic moment, but it was still a dramatic moment. But at the end of the day, they divide up into 2 different teams. The teams named themselves the Other Girls versus Mr., which is the acronym for their names.
Right.
And so they were now all together to do Total Request Live, and they were going to be a 90s girl group on TRL, MTV's TRL.
That's
so
how about Ross was giving
turned it
great straight early
the
2000s boy
was,
trade. What was the dude's name?
His name was
TRL?
I cannot think of his name.
Not Carson Daly.
Was
it Carson Daly?
Carson Daly was one of them. I don't know if he was giving Carson Daly here, but he was.
He was definitely giving that look.
I think he might have been giving Carson Daly. Yeah, that is Carson Daly. So anyway, this was Mr. They came out and gave their performance. They did a song, and then at the end they were being interviewed like on TRL.
Right.
And I keep saying Carson. Ross's look was all the way down to the baggy clothes, and it was great. They had 4 different personalities in the group, but they all kind of got together, did their own little separate parts. Mm-hmm. And then in true MTV Live or TRL fashion, one of the girls had some moment, and that happened to be Shay, who decided that she was going to say at that particular point, I'm going solo and I'm leaving the group. And it was live. They were like, what? So it was very TRL, very live. And so the next group, the other girls, when they got together, their group was kind of a combination of 4 different girls that were the leftovers and from other groups. And so they had a difference in age as well as ranges of abilities and everything else. Jinx played like the older girl in the group that was not necessarily old, but couldn't do all the young shit that everybody else did.
Mm-hmm.
Evie played this weird robotic,
like a robot, an actual pop star
robot type of thing. And I was like, all right, girl, whatever.
Right, yeah,
I was like, all right, whatever. And then their moment was the Vivian saying,
oh, right. Dylan said it was Carson Gailey.
Okay.
No, but the character's name was Carson Gailey.
Okay. But then Vivian said that she was going to she said something about
the character was just going to be a mishmash of British stereotypes like foreskin and bangers and mash.
Right.
And
that's what
chimney sweeps and all kinds of shit.
And then Jada's thing was she was like, oh, I have to go to the bathroom. She's like, she poops a lot or something. And so it wasn't
the whole concept was stupid.
It wasn't for me. It just wasn't for me.
This I did like. There was like Night of $1,000.
Yeah. So it was cute.
And they all had to use a very specific, so they couldn't just say, oh, I'm Dolly.
Right.
They had to use a specific reference.
Yeah. And so for each of them, they provided their reference and then they came out with their look. Mm-hmm. And this was Roger's look, which I thought was actually pretty good. The gown was.
I was a little disappointed in the makeup. The makeup looks, Dolly Parton's makeup looks a little clownish, but I felt like she could have painted better to look more like Dolly.
I don't know if that's in her wheelhouse. Like if she knows how to paint to look like. She just knows how to paint. She doesn't know how.
That feels something that more like Detox could do. Remember when Detox came out with that black and white look and slayed the kids at the fucking?
But I didn't appreciate it then. At that point, I did not appreciate it then.
Really,
going back and looking at it, it was amazing.
Yeah.
But at that point, I was like, "What's that girl? What?" But now, someone that does characters and caricatures of people, believe it or not, and who paint her brush is amazing. Nina Bonita Brown is amazing, and a lot of girls can still do their makeup to kind of look like different
clearly
people.
she was Dolly,
but she was Dolly or whatever with the hair.
Like a little too caricature-y for me.
But it was cute. It was a cute look, and Dolly she's the sequin queen. I don't know if she has Bob Mackie gowns, but baby, she has lots of gowns.
Yeah,
lots of gowns. And a lot of them. Trinity is I'm every day I'm amazed at Trinity because she actually painted a little bit to look more like Dolly.
Yes.
Facial expressions, everything. I was very happy with Trinity and what she did with this. Although this piece of hair in the front is driving me crazy, but other than that, it was good.
Yeah, I did Dolly Parton.
Huh?
Yeah, they all had.
Yeah, they all did Dolly Parton. Okay. I appreciated Jada with this attempt, this swing,
and this titty.
Because this titty ball that she had going on was like
it was bouncy.
It was very bouncy. So I don't particularly care for this look on Dolly, and I didn't particularly care for it on Jada either. But that's just me. The Vivian was fucking flawless.
Yes,
her look. Her attitude, her gestures, everything was absolutely flawless. And it gave me Dolly all night. Even though the dress wasn't the exact replica, everything about this screamed Dolly to me. It just 100%. did.
Evie's actually.
Evie was good.
This is Jinx Monsoon.
I'm sorry. Jinx was good.
Really did give an appropriate Dolly. They said it was sort of understated, but I was like, Dolly did often. Yes, every time you see Dolly giving you super glams, he's also giving you country school teacher.
Yes, indeed.
Who's also a whore.
But I don't know if Dolly knows.
Movie she did.
Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. The Best Little Whorehouse.
That really is this look really is Best Little Whorehouse in Texas.
Yeah. Wow. So that was Jinx, and I thought it was cute.
The hair's not quite big enough, but sure.
It's flat.
It's not. The wig isn't wigging.
The wig isn't wigging. Okay, so Monet
dress she had on.
The coat was amazing. I do not like this hair on Monet,
but for a black person, I feel like she looked the best like Dolly. Like you could tell that. I feel like you could say, "Oh, okay, she's giving Dolly."
I was like, she might have gave Dolly West, she might have gave Dolly Jenkins, but she wasn't giving Dolly Parton. That's what I wasn't getting. But the
Dolly,
jacket,
pardon me.
I mean, Dolly, pardon me. That's what she was giving, but I no. But the coat was amazing. I'll give that. And listen, there are very few brown people that can wear platinum blonde hair and look good in it. And this is not Monet's thing for me.
Mhm.
And this cut ain't helping for me.
Okay.
So maybe that's it. But but okay, whatever.
This was a full flop for me for
look, right?
Not necessarily. Well, it's not necessarily.
A black person's never going to give you the look, especially if you're trying to imitate that white person. You're never.
But it was not about. In this case, for me, it wasn't about looking like them. It just wasn't a good look.
It was about and it just wasn't a good thing. Now she gave Dolly, but it wasn't. She gave a Dolly. I'll say that. Okay. I don't know which Dolly.
This wig that Shea Coulee has is a full miss for me.
This wig, she just shook this thing out the bag.
Right. It feels like she didn't even style it. The way the bangs is coming off the side.
It's two different wigs, and she just shook one out the bag, and then she hot glued the bangs in the back. That's what it was. It wasn't
a rare full miss for me.
This for me, I keep saying this about Shea. She started off very, very, very strong. And I'm losing her. Like she's not giving me what she gave.
More Grace Jones than Dolly Parton.
Don't you put that on Grace?
No.
No. Don't you put that on Grace? Now her face is beat. Just the face by itself. The different hair, that's beat. Just
I'm trying to
just the face. You got to block.
All I can say, I'm trying to block out the hair
because her face is never not done. It's always
Because in concert with the hair, the face looks a mess. But when the
face by itself, I see it. So I'm just saying. So next up, we also had Evie Oddly. Oh. I absolutely fucking cannot stand Evie with all this animation, but it's her, and it's so her, and it's like there's nobody else that can do this. And this picture to me,
if Dolly Parton had an eating disorder. Because the lines are so
right, and we're scared.
The wig is cute though.
What? Dolly's?
On
Evie? Oh. Okay, well, all right. All right.
I feel like that should be
the outfit that Evie had on sort of looked the most like what Dolly was actually wearing.
So these bodysuit knickers, I don't understand what this is, but okay.
No, it's a look though.
It's a choice.
I feel like this Evie Oddly is giving me I don't know, American Horror Story season 8.
Ghost in the background. Yep. And so the top two winners of that evening were Evie and the Vivian. Really? And and the Vivian actually had the golden plunger from last week, so she couldn't win a star. And Evie wound up winning 2 stars in one episode because she was gifted the one, and then also she won the star during this because she won because she's one of the top 2 contenders.
You have here the one upper left. Really looks like Dolly Parton.
That's what the Vivian was giving you everything about Dolly, everything.
Right now, the Viv is my favorite.
She's between her and Jinx. Yeah. I don't know. There's so much talent there.
It's neck and neck with him.
It's so much talent.
And maybe Jada is in the top 4.
Jada's ass is in the bottom somewhere.
Really?
For me, she's in the bottom, just like Shea is falling. Shea is just above Jada to me.
Shea is in the bottom along with Monet, but I think
Monet's been. I think Monet's been at least consistently
blah to me. She don't really do it for me. Shea and
Jada. Shea has been up then down. Jada's been down, but then coming up a little bit, and she's kind of plateauing to me.
Yeah. Okay. Well, So the winner was the Vivian.
Yeah, the Vivian was the winner. And then, of course, because she had the golden plunger, she had to then award someone else the golden plunger. And
it made sense that she gave it
back to Jinx, who had given it to her the last week before. So what that means now is that Jinx can't win next week.
Even if she wins.
She can't win another star. So it'll be interesting to see how this turns out because...
Is that strategy?
It is. Because the 4 people with the most stars...
will go
to the finale.
Yep. And so right now, there's no one that has more than 2 stars.
Okay.
And so we still have
And we're at they said this week that they were at the halfway point. So if it's 7 episodes, it's 7 more.
right. So we have so we have a couple. God, this seems like it's taking forever. As
Doesn't
opposed
it, though?
to
it feels like the show will not be wrapped
Yeah,
up
it's
by
like,
the time we get back from
Jesus.
vacation.
right. Like what the hell?
Which will be fine because we'll get to come back right
4
at the
weeks later,
season
yeah.
finale.
Okay.
All right.
So, but anyway, but that was all that went on with it was. I'm telling you, the Vivian has been she's been slaying it. So, Shay looks like Kim Carnes. Shut up! Shut
That is
up.
a reference.
Shut up. Spiller boy, shut up. Anyway, so listen, we gonna jump right into this beautiful bean footage because I got to make a stop. So get into this beautiful bean footage.
Well, all right. This has been a fun evening.
It has.
Our special in-house guest.
Are you gonna jump up and get your face on the camera? Okay. All right. Well, our guests are being, they don't want to be on the camera. So
but maybe we'll have a guest or two in the house for our season finale next week. We'll invite a person or two.
Okay. I'm cool
Right.
with that. This could have been the preseason finale, but I mean,
this is the preseason finale.
I mean, but I'm just saying
Because
he could have been in the background, but I mean, it's whatever. It's okay.
Well, it's just not
all right.
enough room at the table with the camera and everything. So, but
It's all right. It's all right.
So next week is our season finale.
It's all right. It's okay. It's all right. It's all right.
He's stuck in the loop. Like the giggle at the man on the Mancha house. What was the
Drink your juice, Shelby. Drink your juice. So next week, as we've been saying, is our season finale. We will be off the entire month of July.
Yes.
Not July, but July.
July.
And we will, so the 29th is our last episode next week.
Yes.
And we will be back on August the 3rd.
Yes.
The 3rd, the 3th.
August the 3rd. August the 3rd. Beware of the 3rd.
The 3rd.
The 3rd is cometh. The 3rd cometh.
Oh, July 1st. I don't know if y'all care, but part 2 Stranger Things.
I haven't watched part 1.
So I
know what? I only
yeah.
watched the first season of Stranger Things.
I could not. So I must be one of the only people that couldn't get through all of. And I mean, so from what I understand, it started getting better after.
It was fine, but I was like, every show just don't do it for me.
It just, I don't know. I got a little, yeah.
Plus, I don't really care about kids. I'm over these shows about kids. Although the show is about kids who are now our age because they're all like teenagers. It's like 1982 when the show was being filmed. So they're all like 11 between the 11. Well, the show when the show started, it was 1982.
Right.
So the kids were like 11, 12, 13. It was like the Goonies, but
or
it's not my nostalgia because we didn't have no Upside Down in Clinton, Maryland. So.
Only Upside Down was somebody grabbed my goddamn leg and she whipped my ass or something. Like, get your like, no, mama, no. So
it's so good, y'all. Give it another go. It's really working.
I will. So now that
make that promise.
Now that that all the seasons are out, and I know that there's an ending because this is the last season.
Oh, it is.
I
Okay,
will,
they're not
yeah,
gonna
so
keep
I will
going?
so I will probably be able to sit down and watch it because I'll be able to know where we're going with
And
this.
you have to. You can't skip to season 4. There's so much information. They build on.
So let me say this. People said that about Game of Thrones.
Well, no.
But howsoever, someone did outline for me at one particular point. Watch these episodes from this season, these episodes from this season, and this season, and you'll be able to follow along.
That's true.
Because I never finished. It never got me.
That's
it never.
True. But with Stranger Things, you have to know who the Demogorgons are to understand what Vecna is. You have to know about.
This sounds very technical.
It does. It feels like a lot
it's
to
just
me.
backstory. It's just
Okay.
backstory.
All right.
But you have to know where 11 came from in that institution.
I remember when they found the place.
Right.
But I think that was still in the first season or whatever. It was like the manhole and the cover. I was like, okay,
you have to know about that stuff in order to understand how did Vecna come about. You have to know that.
I don't know her.
You don't care enough.
Vecna and COVID, like, what are they cousins?
No. Vecna is the big supreme monster that's causing all this shit.
So that's the one that was up in the clouds that was walking and stuff.
That's the one that
so
the real.
All right.
Well, so
we don't want to have so much conversation with someone who's not on camera.
But they're fighting. They're fighting King Kong or
yeah, we're still doing a show.
We're still doing a play. I'm
still
sorry.
A show.
But okay. Well, all right.
You know, this is off Broadway.
Well,
I beg your pardon. I'm sorry.
I mean,
you don't have to apologize. Just don't fucking let it happen again.
But I mean, I was enjoying the conversation.
I was too, but you know, it feels like you just
they doing a conversation too. They having conversation with everybody else.
Right.
I'm just saying that's what they doing.
Right, that's true. Woo. You were just in a mood today.
American Horror Story is coming back, y'all. Did y'all see?
You were just in a mood.
So the next season,
it's on your one of your viewers.
So the next season,
7/21.
Oh, okay.
Let's see what they say.
Horror stories. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to wrap this up. So thank you all for coming out. God bless you. Good night. So
it's on what? It's on one. Which one?
Come on. We're going to do it.
Oh, 7/21 season 2. Okay.
Come on.
But anyway.
Somewhere over the rainbow. I love you. Thank you.
Yes.
Way up high. Ooh. There's a land that I've heard of once in a lullaby. Where troubles melt like lemon drops, way upon the chimney tops. That's where you will find me. Somewhere over the rainbow. Woo!
Yes.
Bluebirds fly. If a teeny weeny bird can fly over.
Teeny weeny bird.
Teeny weeny bird. Teeny weeny. Teeny weeny. Teeny weeny. Teeny bird. Then I love you and I'll see you real soon.
Why?
Birds fly. Why can't I? Birds fly.
Listen, laughing. The choir comes out. Choir.
All right, we love y'all. We'll see y'all next week.
Have a good night.